How's it going, guys? This is Ken. Today I'm going to do a speed comparison between the new iPod Touch 5th generation versus the older generation, the 4th generation iPod Touch. To make this test fair, I have upgraded my iPod Touch 4G to the latest firmware, which is iOS 6. By the way, if you want to watch some of my other videos on the new iPod Touch, I have a playlist. You can click the annotation on the screen to watch a bunch of other videos regarding the iPod Touch 5th generation. So let's get started with this video, or this speed comparison. So let's open up Safari, and I'm just gonna run the browser mark test, which shows the benchmark of my browsers. So the iPod Touch 4G scored 61,000 and the iPod Touch 5G scored 100,000. So it's a pretty big difference, and it just tells us that the iPod Touch 5G is much improved in Safari. So let's go to a website, let's go to apple.com, and the iPod Touch 5G loaded faster. Now let's click on the iPhone 5 link. Again, the iPod Touch 5G loaded quicker. And now let me just zoom into the iPod tab so we can click the iPod button. Just gonna zoom in on my iPod Touch 4G, and it crashed. I'm not sure what is going on with my iPod Touch 4G, but I'm not sure if it's iOS 6 or not, because I haven't experienced this kind of issue in iOS 5. So maybe it's just a problem on iOS 6. But I'm just gonna go to another website. I'm going to engadgets.com, and of course the iPod Touch 5G loaded faster. Now let me go to another website. How about The Verge? And this time I'm gonna go to CNN.com, and once again the iPod Touch 5G beat the iPod Touch 4th generation. So now I'm gonna start doing some YouTube videos. So just gonna go ahead to my channel, Ken Films HD, and I'm just gonna load my latest video. By the way, if I sound weird, that is because I have a cold, so excuse me. Yeah, let's see which one loads faster. Pretty much the same time. The iPod Touch 5G is just 0.5 seconds faster. Let's try my unboxing video. This time the iPod Touch 5G is much quicker than the iPod Touch 4G. So now let me try some games. So this is Fruit Ninja. It's fully loaded on the 5G, just gonna wait for the 4G. And now let me try, what is this? Cut the Rope. It's loading. Zepto Lab. And finished on the iPod Touch 5th generation. It's pretty obvious that the iPod Touch 5G is improved and much faster with the brand new A5 processor that is running on the iPod Touch 5G. But it's not a huge difference. You're not gonna notice like 5 minutes of waiting time in between. So this is Call of Duty Zombies, and in this game the iPod Touch 5G actually loaded really fast. Just gonna wait for the 4G, and there it is. Now let me open some default applications. This is the camera app, and just a bit faster on the 5G. Settings instantly opened on the 5G. Let's try App Store. Again, just a slight difference, not by much, but the iPod Touch 5G still wins. Now I'm gonna open the Apple Maps, iOS Maps, and so this is pretty much my speed test between the iPod Touch 5G and the 4G. I mean, it's not a huge difference, but the iPod Touch 5G's A5 chip is definitely a lot better than the A4 chip, and opens apps, Safari, web browsing, just overall performance just better and smoother on the iPod Touch 5G. So this is basically my comparison. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next video.